What is up? My name is Nick Benavides, and today I am going to talk to you about your drums. Yeah, I'm going to try to talk about your drums. Actually, I got a question. I have a question. How do you program or process your drums? That's the question. I have a bunch of things I used to do, and then now I do it differently, and I'm just curious about how other people do this. I'm just curious. I want to know what other people do. So this is not a tutorial. This is just me talking about the different ways I have came across my drum process. Yeah, I want to talk about it, and hopefully you can talk about it down in the comments below. If you like the video, like it, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified. Let's get right to it. So I have a drum program that I've been using a lot. Before I used perfect drums, I just dragged drums into the drum machine, and then I would just render them out. So I would do a simple beat. Easy. I would do this. I would actually go in here, make my drum beat, and then I would solo this right here, and then I would bounce it down the drum machine. I don't want to do the chain because that adds the effects. I don't want to add effects. And then I would get my drums right there, and I would have my kick. And then I would just EQ and process my kick drum through there, and I would have kick, snare, kind of like down here how I have snare, kick, and then the China and crash. I still do that, but I do not use, I don't pick my samples anymore. Nowadays, I just use perfect drums. But the way I do it is differently, because the way I used to do it with perfect drums was kind of like not the best way to do it. Sounds good. I really like perfect drums. It's really cool. So I would actually just bounce it down right here. I would bounce it down, go bounce, perfect drums, and it would bounce down that whole drum loop right there. But the problem is you can't really choose your effects on every individual drum. Like, you're kind of stuck with this loop. I guess I could cut up every individual drum, but that would take too much time. And if you put effects on it, like if you're, well, I was really lazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is what I did. I would type in drum, and then I would go to drum processor mix 1. I would click on this, and then I would listen to it and be like, what's this sound like? I was like, man, that sounds pretty good. Or I would do the second one. And then I would pick one of those, and then I would go in here, and then I would mess with the drums further. And I did that for a while, a couple songs actually, until I was like, you know what? I feel like I don't have much control over my drum. So I was like, what's the next thing I could do? And it was just a process. I just keep evolving this process. So I don't know what I'm going to do next week or the week after. I have no idea how I'm going to change up my process. But now I do not do this anymore because it doesn't really give you a lot of options. Now I go in here, say I go to perfect drums and I just want the kick. So I'll highlight these and I will mute them. And I'll mute them, and then I'll right click and I'll bounce down, and it will give me just the kick drum, and I'll let you listen to just the kick drum. And then you can actually go to the kick drum and you can put effects on it. For the example here, I kind of just threw on a kick effects processor, drum processor, kick 2. I really liked it. I liked how it sounded, and I have more control over it. If I wanted to get a little dirty, like maybe I should put some dirt on the kick drum, you can do that because you've separated it from the rest of the drum loop that you have made. And I just feel like I have more control like that. So let's go to Drumferno. I have no idea what this is going to sound like, but hopefully it sounds good. It does sound pretty cool. Like, I could see somebody using something like that. But yeah, that does sound cool. What about 808 kicker? Nothing really. Let's do dirty drum bus. Yeah, it gives a little bit of dirty fuzziness. But yeah, you have more control to do that. And I was thinking to myself, do other people do it this way, or they do it the way I used to do it? I don't think there's a best way, but that's what my thought process was. I was like, what is the best way to process your drums or lay out your drums to add effects and mix them well enough in your mix? Because I don't think this Audio 3 right here is a good way to mix your drums, because you can't really mix the levels individually. You can't go to your kick, you can't mix your kick, then mix your snare. But that's how I used to do it, because I would go into Perfect Drums. I'll bring up the plugin right here. I would go up, and they have a mixer, and I would go in here and just turn stuff down a little bit how I wanted it, and then I would render it again. And I was like, this just takes too much time. I would delete stuff, render it, delete. That's when I was like, you know what, I'm just going to render every individual drum. So I have a video about me using Perfect Drums, and I do separate the tracks in that video. That's when I started doing it. That's when I started separating everything. But what I used to do was terrible. So you can hear these drums are a way better, and it sounds the same, or pretty close to the same, without effects. Well, there's effects on all of these now. I EQ'd the China crash, but if we just solo all of these, we can get a good sounding kit like drum loop. And then let's go and add, should we do the Rotten Drum Machine? What's this? It's going to make the kick sound weird. You just have more control over the drums. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you, whoever watches this video, I have no idea who's going to watch it. What is your process? How do you do it? Is there a better way? Is there an easier way? Is there a faster way? Do you just plug in a drum machine and whatever drums I've also thought about this too. If you have a drum machine and you put all the outs to every individual, I guess, pad, like the launch pad here, every individual outs, and you press record, you could record your drums inside your DAW. Do you do it like that? There are just so many ways of doing this drum processing workaround or whatever. That is the question I have for you, and that's, hopefully I get good answers. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified. Tell me what you think about your drum process, not my drum process. Like, I just showed you how I did it, but I'm so curious about other people's way, because everyone's going to have a different answer, and there's no right or wrong. There's going to be people out there that think you're wrong and people that think you're right, but in reality, if you make good music, you make good music. There's no way around that. There's no wrong answer, honestly. But anyways, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace, bye.